Welcome back to some new PettyRevenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Sweet Pettiness. Let's rewind about 12 years to when dedicated forums were popular, especially among the older community. My aunt is the sweetest, kindest, most gentle woman I've ever met. She's the kind of person who'd take a kick me sign of someone else and wear it herself, just to give them a break. She's amazing, and I love her dearly. Now, my mom is more of a no-nonsense type. I somehow inherited traits from both. I try to be kind, but I don't tolerate nonsense. My aunt had always loved corgis. Although she only ever had other small dog breeds, she joined a forum where other dog lovers shared photos, stories, sparkly edits of their pets, and supported each other. But like many communities, there was one person who stirred up trouble. We'll call her Donna. Donna did own a corgi, and she thought that meant the forum should only include actual corgi owners, not fans like my aunt who adored the breed. She'd subtly jab at people like my aunt, who didn't own a corgi, but no one wanted to make waves. At that time, I knew little about the forum, other than that it brought my aunt joy. Then I got 2 emails. The first from my uncle warned me that Donna had crossed a line by sending a nasty email to my aunt's entire contact list. My aunt was mortified and asked that no one read it. My mom was staying at my aunt's house and was helping calm her down, but the message was clear. Please don't read it. Your aunt would be even more embarrassed. Not my style. So I opened Donna's email. It was Patty, accusing my aunt of being a wannabe corgi owner, calling her fake, and saying her photo edits were awful. Clearly, Donna assumed my aunt would just quietly quit the forum, since the message was private. Well, I wasn't about to let that slide. I replied, but I didn't argue or curse. Instead, I was incredibly polite. I told Donna I understood how difficult drama could be among friends, and that as a young person, she had a lot of growing up to do. I gently pointed out that her comments seemed trivial and childish, and that someday, when she matured, she'd see how silly it all was. I explained that using someone's online passion to hurt them was dangerous. Not just for my aunt, but for Donna too, who clearly hadn't yet learned the grace or empathy to see how immature it made her look. I wrapped it up with, and just in case you haven't caught on, let me spell it out. That's enough, Donna. Then I hit reply all. A half hour later, I got a call from my mom, who was laughing so hard she couldn't speak. Apparently, when my uncle read my email to my aunt, he added extra emphasis to my closing line. My aunt was a little flustered, but started chuckling, asking, "She knows Donna is in her 60s, right?" My mom couldn't stop laughing. My uncle even thanked me, saying it was the only thing that had helped my aunt move past her embarrassment. A few days later, I got an update. Someone from the forum posted the whole story, including my reply. My aunt received tons of support, and Donna was banned from the group for her behavior. My aunt still loves corgis and remains active in that community. Also, I'm officially the favorite niece, but to be fair, I'm the only one. The next story is called Revenge on Herself. My boss and I are good friends. We carpool together and share an office. Today, my wife brought me my favorite lunch, and my boss mentioned it smelled good, but a bit oniony. I ate most of it, but had to step away for a few minutes for a time-sensitive task. When I returned, my boss had thrown the rest of my lunch away, because the smell was bothering her. She tossed what was left of my lunch into our shared office trash can. Normally, I take my lunch trash out to the dumpster to avoid any lingering food smell. But since she threw it out, I decided not to move it. Those last bites of today's lunch are now set to fill the rest of the office with a little aromatic reminder by morning. The third story is called Revenge Adoption. My daughter, then 15, and I used to visit the local humane society every week. It was like free therapy for her. Cuddling kittens and watching them play was such a great mood booster. One day, while we were in the kitten room, a little girl, maybe around 6 or 7, came in with her dad. I watched as she roughly handled the kittens, picking them up by their legs, even hitting one on the head when it swiped at her. She'd say things like, "That one's ugly," or "Ugh, look at his eye, that's gross," pointing to a kitten that was clearly recovering from an eye injury. She eventually focused on the little orange and white kitten there, who was very calm despite her rough handling. After a few moments, she announced to her dad that this was the one she wanted. Her dad asked if she was sure, and she said yes. She spent a few more minutes holding him up, bouncing him around like a toy, and generally not being very gentle. I went over to where the adoption cage cards were displayed, found the sheet for the orange kitten, and took it out of the slot. After a bit, I approached the little girl and kindly said, "Could I please have him? We are adopting him." She looked at me and said, "No, he's mine." Her dad came over and I explained, "We'd visited him earlier and we even have his cage card. I'm sorry." He asked his daughter to hand over the kitten, and she absolutely lost it. She screamed and cried for a solid 5 minutes, holding onto the poor, terrified kitten, who was trying to wriggle away. She only wanted the orange kitten, and kept saying the others were ugly. Her dad eventually had to raise his voice to get her to finally let go, and in her frustration, she threw the kitten and stomped off. My daughter picked up the little orange kitten, and, long story short, Otis has now been happily living with us for 7 years, and we love him dearly. I hope that little girl learned a bit about kindness and gentle handling before she ever got a pet of her own. The last story is called Itchy Revenge. I had a friend who discovered her husband was having an affair with a coworker. She confronted him and he promised he'd end it. But about a month later, she caught them again. That was the final straw, so she filed for divorce. Unfortunately, he made the process as difficult as possible, fighting over every little detail. Neither wanted to leave their shared home, worried the other would use it against them in the divorce proceedings. So they both stayed put until they eventually agreed to sell the house. While living under the same roof, he still expected her to do his laundry. That's when she decided to have a little fun with it. She agreed to do his laundry, but occasionally rubbed poison ivy on his clean clothes. The first time he had a reaction, he actually thought he'd caught something from his affair partner. We had a good laugh over a bottle of wine, and she told me how he was itching like crazy and needed to take an oatmeal bath. Let's just say he got what was coming to him. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.